So 1.4 million federal workers. We lost 14 billion out of the economy. 1.4 million federal workers going without pay. Besides that, what did the Democrats get out of it? If that was, they knew that was going to happen, and they wanted to do this longer. So, I mean, when you just said Keem Jeffries is going, it's not over.
Yeah, it is over.
It's over.
It's over.
No, it's over.
Literally over. But he's doing that for the progressive base. But my thing is, all these federal workers, their unions, by and large, they support the Democrats. And they're still cheering for the government to be shut down. At what point do you pick your family over the party and say, I can't support these guys? If they're going to keep the government shut down just to get back at Trump and say it's causing maximum pain, this is the only leverage that they have, you got to stop supporting these people.
AOC, she said that this is a coordinated effort between the Democrats and the Republicans, the ones who voted with the Republicans. There were 8 in the Senate that voted with Republicans, 6 in the House that voted with Republicans. And no, it's just common sense. We want SNAP benefits to go to the families that need it. We want you to get your paycheck if you work for the federal government. Here's some reactions from AOC and some of the progressive House members.
There's no one vote that ended this shutdown. We are talking about a coordinated effort of 8 senators with the knowledge of Leader Schumer voting to break with the entire Democratic Party in exchange for nothing.
I think we're in an unprecedented moment that, demands that we consider whether or not it's the time for new leadership.
Do you think the Senate Democrats need a new leader?
Yes, I do, but that's not in my hands.
I mean, they're going to have a lot of primaries. I mean, you have with the senator from Massachusetts going to be challenged. We know that for sure. It looks like Chuck Schumer is going to get a challenge. The whole push from these angry left-wing activists is to start challenging these guys and these women in the primaries that were somewhat moderate. And I think that's why maybe Jeanne Shaheen retired. Gary Peters is retiring. Dick Durbin's getting older, but he was retiring. They know they're going to be challenged for more left-wing, more progressive candidates. I think it's just bad for the country.
It was bad for the country, but I think it's time to finally have this fight of the socialism versus capitalism fight. I think if we really want to just put it in its grave on a national level, we need a strong candidate. Maybe it's J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio being together, or whoever decides to win in that primary. And we need strong Senate candidates to say, this is not America. This is where Seth Moulton, who used to be considered a moderate, all because he wants the Senate seat in Massachusetts, has turned into this radical lunatic now. And I think it's a temporary solution to get to the base, but when you run in the general election, people are going to reject this.
Well, everyone's wondering, what direction does the Democratic Party go? They're divided. Who will be their new leader if AOC primaries him? Right. Will it be AOC? She was asked on whether or not Chuck Schumer should remain the minority leader. Listen.
Should Chuck Schumer stay as minority leader?
I think what is so important for folks to understand is that this problem is bigger than one person, and it actually is bigger than the minority leader in the Senate. And Senate Democrats have selected their leadership to represent them. And so the question needs to be bigger than just one person. We have several Senate primaries this cycle. I know I'm being asked about New York. That is years from now. I have to remind my own constituents because they think that this election is this year. We actually do have Senate elections this year, and my hope is that people across this country actually participate in their primary elections in selecting their leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's running. She's running.
I think she will, too.
No comment is running. No comment is saying, okay, I don't want to say just yet, but I'm not saying that I'm not running.
Well, it could be the Kamala Harris thing, where Kamala Harris says, yeah, I'm not going to run for governor after thinking about it because she wants to run for president. She might be hedging because she might think that she has the support to run for president. Especially with the Seattle, the radical Seattle mayor winning.
You think she wants the whole enchilada?
Yeah, I think she might see a window. Ever since Chris Christie waited and then missed the window, I think all these politicians are afraid of missing their window. If she sees that window, I think she runs. And I think most likely what's going to happen is it's going to be a midterm election. Chuck Schumer will announce he's not running for re-election. And I think that would open the door for her.
She campaigned with Mom Donnie. Do you think that's a winning message?
She mentored it.
Around the country? I can understand how she could win in New York. I can understand how this socialist is winning at the mayoral race in Seattle.
Right.
But not around the country.
Well, it would be up to people running against her, like Shapiro and Bashir and Cory Booker to turn around and go, we don't want a socialist representing our party. You're going to see the intramural fight first if they decide to have a legitimate primary for the first time since President Obama took on Hillary Clinton.
Do you think there's going to actually be some point in the Democratic Party where they fight and say they reject socialism?
Yeah, well, if you want to win. You remember how hard DeSantis would go at Trump and go at Vivek Ramaswamy? That's what Newsom's going to have to do to AOC before they get to the finals, which would be, you know.
I don't think you can reject socialism and win a primary in the Democratic Party. I think you have to teeter with it with a little bit and say, hey, I want the government to fund this, this, and this. You may not say that you're a Democratic social, but you got to embrace it at some point to win a primary in the new Democratic Party. But we'll see. We'll see if the debate happens.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.